Welcome back to the deep dive. So if 2025 was the year, AI got undeniably serious and its capabilities just soared. 2026 is shaping up to be the year it becomes, structurally inescapable. We're talking about massive, sustained acceleration across the board in the LLMs themselves and AI agents, and especially in this concept we call agentic workflow.
And this deep dive, it's really tailored for you, the small to medium-sized business owner. Because here's the real split we're seeing. While this exponential growth is happening, a huge segment of the business community is still, lagging behind. They're pushing back.
Okay, let's unpack that hesitation. Because our sources highlight it as the major barrier right now. What are the core fears?
Well, the sources point to two main things, really, two drags. First, there's that lingering, sort of persistent rumor that AI is just a huge bubble.
Right, that it's all going to crash.
Exactly. People are nervous about investing something that might just vanish.
And the cost data we have, which we'll get into, it just completely counters that bubble fear. But what's the second issue? The more internal one.
It's the sheer realization that implementation means you have to modify or even discard your old systems.
The legacy systems.
Your legacy systems. You have to change your databases, your software. And for an SMB, that feels like a huge drag because the fear of breaking something core like your invoicing, it feels scarier than just staying inefficient.
And yet what's so wild, and the source material really shows this, is that it's now often quicker and way cheaper to just rebuild from scratch. On an AI model, quicker than trying to patch new tech onto 20-year-old code. That speed difference is what people can't seem to compute.
It is. So the mission for this deep dive is pretty simple. We need to stop seeing AI as the scary, complex, abstract technology. The reality is you are simply buying intelligence.
Buying intelligence. I like that framing.
It's super cheap. It's abundant. It's available. The question isn't, can you use it anymore? It's how do you strategically implement it?
That reframe is vital. So for the business owner who's ready to take the leap this year, what's the foundational advice? Where do you even start?
The initial advice is to focus on two core starting points. They're straightforward, and they pretty much guarantee returns.
Okay, what's the first one?
The first is all about optimizing what you already do. We call it 10x existing processes. Look at something your business already does well, and then use AI to make it hyper-efficient. And I'm not talking small tweaks. A 10x, 50x, even 100x increase in output.
So that sounds like the safer starting point. You take a known quantity and you just amplify it.
Exactly. It's low-hanging fruit, but it's really high-impact fruit.
Okay, so if the first area is optimization, what's the second focus?
The second area is exploring new capabilities. What are the tasks that were just impossible before, either because of budget or staff size, things that would have taken months and months. And now with AI, you can do them in a couple of hours.
So which of those two is the safer bet for someone just starting out? The 10x or the new capability?
The 10x optimization is definitely safer because you have existing metrics. If you've had a 50x improvement. New capabilities, that takes a bit more vision, but it's often where the real revolutionary shifts happen. Like automating a whole multilingual customer service layer you could never afford before.
It's really about overcoming that fear, seeing it not as tech, but as intelligence you're implementing.
That's the mindset.
Okay, that shift is what's going to define who succeeds in 2026. Now let's talk about how the customer finds you, because that efficiency changes customer behavior too. Let's dive into what our sources call the end of the static website and this rise of topical authority.
This is probably the most significant market shift from the past year. Traditional search, blue links, it's fundamentally changing. Businesses have to adapt to cater to AI agents. They're the new gatekeepers.
And we have two incredible examples of this from the source material. Southern Sally and Bondi Bronte. These were two local directory sites launched just 9 months ago.
Yeah, and their whole purpose was to gather useful local info, and they were built almost entirely with AI. AI agents make contact, they clean up the responses, and assemble it all into valuable content, this kind of AI-generated content. We call it synthetic data.
Hold on. Synthetic data. For a business owner hearing that for the first time, what does that actually mean?
It's just data that isn't typed out by a human. In this case, the AI handles the whole process. It gathers the info, it cleans it up, fixing spelling, standardizing formats, and then it publishes the result. It's computationally derived content.
Right. Now, for the shocking data, over those 9 months, both sites got a similar steady flow of visitors, about 25,000 to 26,000 people.
But here's the twist that proves the whole point. Bondi Bronte was basically invisible to Google. If you looked at the console, only 2 pages were indexed.
Wow.
For the whole year.
Wow. 2 pages. Meanwhile, Southern Sally had a constant stream of pages indexed, found the old-fashioned way, and yet they had similar traffic.
Large language models. The sites became a topical authority. They had so much valuable, focused information in their little niche that the LLMs sought them out and referenced them. Even if Google hadn't indexed them, the LLMs were finding it through other means. It proves the shift away from just relying on Google's algorithm.
So if the old model was, your website is a library that a user has to search through.
The new model is the AI assistant is the librarian. It intercepts the user's question, finds the answer wherever it is, and just brings it to them directly. And this gets magnified when the client isn't even human, but another AI is searching on a human's behalf.
This just fundamentally changes how you think about marketing spend. You have to position yourself to be the authority the LLM trusts and recommends.
You have to, because the LLMs are looking for truth. They're looking for comprehensive answers, not paid ads. You can spend $10,000 on a Google ad for a quick hit that fades. The future is owning the conversation in your domain.
But that sounds expensive. How does a small business compete? How do you generate enough content to become an authority?
That's where the AI agents and synthetic data come in. Look at the British Carpet Company example. They created Carpet Sydney as a topical authority. They generated thousands of questions and answers about carpets in Sydney. And that engine, naturally, refers back to the British Carpet Company as the expert. The cost to create that content with AI is negligible compared to hiring people.
Or the Deportier Rug Company. They're driving traffic with Kate the Rug Expert, an AI assistant that answers questions about antique rugs. And then it just seamlessly points you to Deportier if you need to buy one.
Yeah.
That's scalable.
That is the new model. It's a permanent, unbiased recommendation engine.
Let's shift from outbound marketing to internal productivity. The specifics of agentic workflow, because this is where the real cost revolution is.
Absolutely. And agentic workflow, just to define it, is AI not just answering questions, but doing complex multi-step actions on its own. It's a huge leap.
So give us those practical use cases from 2025.
Okay, take hotels, especially in a place like Thailand with millions of visitors. Language barriers are a huge pain point. So this AI assistant, Guest Chat, solves it instantly. Guests scan a QR code and can ask anything in their own language. What time does the bar open? Or something complex about their stay.
And it replaces those thick binders, the physical books with the Innkeeper's Act and all that, saves printing costs, gives instant multilingual service.
Precisely. And for operations, the yacht shop example it's just revolutionary. You have Thai-speaking staff and English-speaking management. Instead of some clunky data entry system, staff can now just talk to the stock control system.
They're literally having a conversation with their inventory software.
They are. A staff member just says, in Thai or English, I've used 6 of these screws, or 8 meters of that blue material is gone. The AI understands the intent and instantly updates the stock list. It might even flag a reorder. It just eliminates that whole manual data entry barrier.
That is next level.
Right.
And it proves that point from the sources. The cost of intelligence is becoming virtually negligible.
We have the perfect example of that. We looked at a process for creating 5,000 detailed questions and answers for a knowledge base. Initially, the compute and tokens for that cost about $1,000 US.
Which was already pretty efficient by 2024 standards. But what happened next?
The team built a custom vibe-coded tool, their own piece of internal software. And the cost for the exact same 5,000 questions dropped to under $1.
$1.
Under $1. And the time went from nearly a week to, as they said, literally instantly, or at least within a day.
From $1,000 to $1. I mean, that one data point says it all. What was the trick? How did they save so much?
It wasn't just that prices dropped, it was efficiency. The vibe-coded tool cut out all the complex layered API calls and minimized the tokens. They basically stopped paying for the AI to think about unnecessary stuff and just paid for the targeted intelligence they needed for that one output.
And looking ahead to 2026, the big projection is the explosion of live two-way speech.
Exactly. The cost of race compute has dropped something like 70% in the last year. And since talking is how we naturally communicate, the barrier to using these systems is just disappearing. Soon you'll be talking to an AI assistant and you won't even realize it's not a person.
So the intelligence is cheap and the interface voice is also becoming virtually free. That is a perfect storm for implementation.
It is. And that ability to build custom tools brings us to the future of software. the vibe coding revolution.
We mentioned Elon Musk's idea of moving away from big subscriptions, his macro hard idea, by having businesses create their own software.
Right? Why pay for a huge software suite when you only use 10% of it? Vibe coding is the democratization of that. It's the ability for employees who get AI logic, but who aren't trained programmers, to build custom software for their own business.
But if they aren't writing code, what's the skill? Is it just knowing what you want?
It's logic mapping. It's really precise prompt engineering. You're structuring the steps for the AI agent and defining the outputs, but you're not writing Java. You have to know your business process inside and out and be able to articulate the vibe or the intent of what you want. It's much more accessible.
So what kinds of tools have been built this way?
We've seen incredible stuff. For the rug site, they built a tool just to name images quickly and accurately. So the LLM had proper context for search. We also saw a little utility app built just to get GPS coordinates for directory businesses to put them on a map correctly. Simple, but it saved hours of manual work.
Those are efficiency plays. What about a really complex tool?
The most advanced example is a full-on internal marketing distribution tool, built entirely with vibe code logic. This thing scrapes a potential client site, finds info, writes a personalized email with a custom icebreaker, sends the pitch, and then manages all the follow-ups. It's an autonomous sales agent that they've built in-house.
And if we connect this back to those massive infrastructure projects, like Project Stargate in Texas for OpenAI,
Yeah.
that's what's feeding this.
Oh, absolutely. They're not building those for fun. That's what drives down token prices. It's what reduces the inference time compute.
And inference time, for the listener, what is that exactly?
It's just the speed at which the model thinks. The time it takes the AI to hear your request, 6 screws are gone, and then act on it. That time is shrinking to milliseconds. Everything we've discussed, vibe coding, talking to your stock system, creating 5,000 questions for $1, it's all going to become virtually instantaneous.
So what does this all mean? For the business owner listening, 2026 isn't a suggestion. It's a requirement. You have to adapt. The year's going to shuffle the deck and sort out who gets it and who doesn't.
And the core message is still the same. You have to leverage these tools. The multilingual conversational data processing abilities, that cost saving from $1,000 to $1 is the proof. The intelligence is on tap. You just have to turn on the faucet.
The power's there, the cost is dropping, and the tools are simple enough to build yourself.
Exactly. And for our final thought for you to mull over, while there's going to be a flood of AI-generated video and image content, you can call it the AI slop, all that synthetic noise, the ultimate way to be found in the long run won't be through a flashy ad. It'll be by owning the conversation in your domain, by building that long-term topical authority that the AIs are actively looking for. So consider that, the steady, enduring growth of authority versus the quick, fading hit of an ad.